Hey guys, thanks for watching. So I just want to talk about today a little concept that I recently learnt about called the positive risk cycle and positive cycles in general, because it's something that it's going to inherently make sense to a lot of us. We'll think we've seen this before, I've experienced this before, but when I saw it written down on paper, I thought, wow, this is it's really a key concept to get across, and something I'm probably using unconsciously. Maybe we're all using it unconsciously, but once you understand it and you know it's a kind of proven system, you can start to apply it and get some results in whatever area it's in. So it's basically like a cycle of behaviour change. So you've got, when someone takes a risk, now this doesn't have to necessarily be a risk, it can just be a change in behaviour. It doesn't have to be risky, but it's called a positive risk cycle, so it's some of it's cycled around risk. So they take a risk, so let's say it's, I don't know, gambling's not a good example, but let's say you go for a job that's a couple of levels above you, or a couple of levels above your sort of current career progression. Let's say you get rewarded, you get the job, and this increases this type of seeking behaviour. And that increases confidence, which increases your likelihood of taking future risks. It's not just risk though, it increases the likelihood of that behaviour occurring in the future. So let's say I change my diet and I cut out all, I don't know, white bread, whatever. Now that's a behaviour change. I start leaning up, I look in the mirror, I'm like, oh, I'm looking better, jump on the scales, lost a few pounds. You get that reward. It increases the likelihood of that behaviour in the future. So you're thinking, oh, well, watching my diet does make a difference. So it kind of expands these types of behaviours and you start doing more of those in your life. We hear loads about negative cycles. We hear loads about downward spirals, negative cycles, stuff like that. But we don't really hear about positive cycles, which are, I think that's because the news and just society at large and human brains to an extent tend to focus on negative things, because I think we need to be aware of risks and the potential downsides of them. Probably from our hunter-gatherer backgrounds, if you weren't aware of risks and you thought everything was great all the time, you probably wouldn't have lived very long. So I think that's a built-in part of our brains, but positive risk cycle is important to reinforce, I think. Just a personal story from me. When I was a kid, I sort of would overhear PE teachers saying, oh, Joyce, he's not very fast, Joyce, he's not very fit, let's put him in goal. Or Joyce, he's slow, etc, etc. So that led to me not seeking risk-taking behaviours when it came to playing sport. And that lasted quite a few years. I wasn't a very active kid, right? I didn't really do any sports and stuff. And then later I took up kickboxing. And the kickboxing instructor was like, oh, Rob, you're pretty fast, you're a big guy, you move well, you're quite strong. And it just kind of tipped this behaviour on its head, which was really lucky for me. That was a key kind of turning point, I would say. So I started to take more risks, try different sports, played a few different sports. A lot of them I was terrible at, to be fair, but it's much better to have that mindset of trying new things and expanding your horizons, expanding your potential outcomes, and then if you get more success, you try more of these behaviours, and it's just a generally good kind of cycle to be in. So that's positive risk-taking behaviours. Now this can happen with anything, but what it means when it comes to fitness is you need to take small wins. So you need to look for things that are going to give you a quick win. So very simple, very trackable, very scalable workouts, very easily timed runs or circuits that you can see very quick improvements on. If you're going to see quick improvements in things that you're doing, you're going to want to do it again. That's just the way that our brains are wired. So you can take advantage of this within yourself. But that means that your program probably needs to have a little bit more structure and a little bit more, not necessarily structure, let's call it progression. It needs to have more progression than what the average person's doing when they go into the gym, which is just 3 sets of 10 on every machine. So you need some metrics. If you're tracking your metrics, your weights, your reps, whatever, if you see those going up, it's going to massively increase your motivation and increase that progression-seeking behaviour, which in the long run is going to end up with you getting some really good results. So it's something I've been experiencing the last few years with saving and just generally not being an idiot with money. Because before, whatever money I got, I would just spend, and not spending it is and seeing like kind of savings build up and stuff like that, and finally like getting a pension, I don't know, like age 30 or whatever, when most people started when they were 18. It just gives you this kind of sense of like, actually, I'm not an idiot with money. I can be sensible. I can budget. I can stop spending. I can potentially earn more if I organise things in the right way. And it changes the way that you see yourself. And I think when you change the way you see yourself, then that really changes long-term behaviours. And changing long-term behaviours is where the results are. So hope this video is not too boring. I just wanted to get this idea out and just get it uploaded on YouTube so that I can come back in a few years and maybe I've gone off the rails and I'm in a bar somewhere and I watch this video and go, Rob, you used to be such an awesome guy, like get back on the case and get back doing those positive behaviours. Don't be that dude. So there we go, guys. If you enjoy the video, comment potatoes below and then I'll know that you've watched it to the end. Thanks very much. See you next time.